it's unproven. We've never done this before. We just don't know if this is going to generate a pipeline. Is this worth it or is it not worth it? It's the biggest bet. Obviously, we're in Jackson. I mean, this is utterly insane for a work event, and we're here just because UserEvidence was founded in Jackson. It's us, it's who we are, it's our DNA. This is Snow King Resort at Snow King Mountain, so that's the main day on Wednesday. And we were thinking about doing it at Jackson Hole Mountain Resort, which is where we did the long game with Evan. Probably could have done it there. Actually, maybe not. It would have been wildly more expensive than this already expensive event. It's the biggest bet for a couple reasons. I think the most obvious reason is just the cost. We are paying for everything and it's very high risk, high reward. This is a lot of money and this is right before a board meeting in September. The stakes, it's the cost and it's unproven. And if we don't see the return that we need to see from this, like, there's probably no Highline 2026. I went out here this morning when no one was here. I'd gotten advice from a couple people who aren't here, just like, what's your biggest piece of advice for hosting an event like this? And almost every single person said, just soak it in, have a couple moments where you're just there by yourself, looking at everything coming together. This is epic. It was really cool. It was also really cold when I was doing it, so I'm glad that it's much warmer out here, but why don't we show you a little bit of the setup. We really wanted to lean into kind of the Western vibe and roots of everything. Wanted to make sure that like every single small little detail was perfect, or as perfect as it could be. And we wanted to make sure that we did teepees and not just regular tents, leaning into Jackson roots without sounding like a total cheese ball. It's just cool to see it all come together from crazy idea to life. You can literally see the Grand Teton right there. I mean, that's nuts. Definitely beats going to one of the major cities in some hotel or conference hall that sucks the life and energy out of you with the fluorescent lights and bad coffee and horrible carpeting and everything. Pretty wild. Hardest part up until now, I'm gonna give you the one-word answer, which is the logistics, but it's the logistics because it's invite only, and we didn't let people buy tickets to come here. We had to turn people away who are interested, but like, we are footing, pretty much the entire bill for this. And because of that, we wanted to make sure that the right people were here. So our customers, accounts that are in pipeline, target accounts that, are dream fit accounts for us that we'd like to, have as customers at some point. They don't have any skin in the game because they didn't buy a ticket. And because of that, it's just so hard to know who is in and who is out. Just getting the people here was the hardest part by far. And then we had people say that they were in and then they would bail. We had a day of bail this morning, which is tough, but we're here. I am a merch snob, and when we all go to these events, we get t-shirts that make you feel like a walking billboard. I wanted to do the complete opposite. So these are all for all the attendees who are coming to Highline, but the Highline logo on the front, there's actually not a UserEvidence logo at all on this. And then came up with this epic design with the Algert team, really leaning into Jackson Hole and just the whole Western vibe and roots of UserEvidence. So I'm pretty pumped with how these came out. The thing that did not turn out well is the employee shirts. So we had a little issue with the employee shirts this morning. Behind the scenes, we're overnighting these with the vendor that we used and hopefully getting them tomorrow. And then on content day, which is the main day, we'll have all the UserEvidence employees wearing white shirts that have the same exact design, just inverse colors. Everyone told me that there are things that are gonna go wrong, so try not to stress out too much over it. The scariest thing in all of this, and I think what I'm most nervous about, just like, yes, is this an incredible event and experience for everybody here? Like, absolutely. Is that the goal of this? No. It's the largest line item in my budget by far. At the end of the day, like, we're not talking about UserEvidence intentionally because we knew people didn't want to come and pay their own money to come here to get pitch slapped. We put so much time and effort into this that, like, if you got my resting heart rate right now, an hour before check-in, it's actually way lower and way less stressed than you would be. But I think that's because of just how much time and effort and energy and focus that we put into this for at least 6+ months. I've got a weird gut feeling right now, like the best kind, that it's gonna go off really, really well. And I don't know. It's a weird feeling, but it's hard to describe. It's cool. Everybody hates the "what's your fun fact" question, so I wanted to do everything that we possibly could to not ask that. And we asked, if you were riding into Jackson on a horse, what would your entrance song be? And we've had the most wildly weird and awesome mix of songs that people have said. And then this is kind of a happy accident that Jaina, who's one of our CSMs, she had this idea of taking all of the song selections and then putting them onto a Spotify playlist that we're actually going to use during the event, during downtime, which is going to be pretty epic since no one knows about that except us. Seeing this and just seeing it blow up without us having to stir up conversation yet is why I have that weird, good gut feeling right now that we're about to see something go off incredibly well, and it's going to be really special.
It's just been cool to see everybody trickle in, and again, most of the people have never been to Jackson before, so to see their reactions and hear them talk about how just cool this all is, I mean, this is outrageous, has been pretty amazing to see. And I think I went from being a little stressed before people showed up to once people got here and you can see that they're all enjoying themselves and having a really good time, it brought the stress levels to like basically zero. Somebody came up at the beginning of this and said, I don't care if we do anything else, but this has been the coolest event that I've ever been to. And that was pretty epic to hear firsthand too.
A pretty full morning already.
The same shuttle that took us out so they wouldn't take us back.
They had power washed these benches and it was soaking wet. The bathrooms are disgusting.
Are we gonna get home?